Anticipated transition of first competency-based curriculum CBC group is days away. Now, the Ministry of Education has been working to ensure that everything is seamless to ensure proper transition. But all this has been a challenge for both parents and teachers as there was confusion on the rollout. We take a look at what JSS means and what is expected of you as a parent, student and teacher. It is an education curriculum that elicited quite a debate ever since it was rolled out. The first batch of the curriculum recently started for their exams and now need to transition. But as opposed to what had been proposed earlier, the grade 7 will now be domiciled in primary after the education task force that was formed by President William Ruto went around the country looking into the matter and recommendations on how to have it work best. Junior secondary school, also referred to as lower secondary, is the phase of learning between primary and senior secondary school, targeting learners in the age bracket of 12 to 14 years old. According to the task force report, this stage seeks to have learners exposed to a broad-based curriculum to enable them explore their abilities, personalities, interests and potential. All the learners are now expected to join junior secondary school, which falls under the middle school education level. The Ministry of Education confirmed last year that junior secondary will be domiciled in existing primary schools and that KIPSEA assessment won't be used to place learners in junior secondary. The resolution followed recommendations by a task force constituted by President William Ruto to evaluate the new system. The 49-member working party is chaired by renowned educationist and University of Nairobi lecturer Raphael Munavu. In its preliminary report submitted to the head of state in December last year, the committee recommended that grades 7, 8 and 9 be domiciled in the existing primary schools due to a lack of adequate infrastructure to accommodate the JSS learners in secondary schools. The task force has until March 2023 to submit its final report to President Ruto. CS Ezekiel Mashogu confirmed that the government has assessed 14,000 public primary schools and found that at least 13,000 of them are ready to admit JSS learners. Junior secondary school learners will be pursuing 14 subjects, out of which 12 subjects will be compulsory. In a new curriculum design, KICD indicated that the 14 subjects include English, Kiswahili, mathematics, integrated science, health education, pre-technical and pre-career, social studies, religious education, business studies, agriculture, life skills education, physical education and sports, and foreign languages. Optional subjects provided to learners include at least one and at most two subjects from the following: visual arts, performing arts, home science, computer science, foreign languages, which include German, French, Mandarin and Arabic, Kenya Sign Languages and indigenous languages. On matters uniform, learners transitioning to grade 7 will be required to wear a different color or type of uniform that will differentiate them from pupils in primary school. Mashogu said parents will have to bear the responsibility of buying uniforms for their children. According to the Education CS, other than the uniform cost, the government will cater for the tuition fees for all learners in JSS. Consequently, school heads not providing boarding services have been prohibited from charging parents and guardians any additional fees. Mashogu said the government has set aside 9.6 billion to support junior secondary school education. The state is said to hire 30,000 teachers to facilitate the transition to JSS and bridge the teacher shortage in the country. Education Cabinet Secretary Ezekiel Mashogu announced interim guidelines for the rollout of secondary school education. In the new guidelines, the Board of Management of Primary School that domiciles the junior secondary school will constitute a special subcommittee to spearhead the management of education and resources of the school. The head of the primary school that domiciles the junior secondary school will serve as secretary, but the chairperson will be a member of the committee. All private junior secondary schools will establish and operationalize BOMs, Board of Directors or Boards of Trustees, in accordance with Section 52 of the Basic Education Act. In addition, a public junior secondary school will be headed by the head teachers of the public primary school that domiciles it during the interim period of the transition ending December 30th, 2023. The CS said Textbooks and hard copies of the Grade 7 curriculum designs will be made available for all schools, and the Kenya National Examination Council will provide guidelines on the conduct of assessments in junior secondary schools. Further, the infrastructure and resources of existing primary schools will be utilized by the respective domiciled junior secondary schools in the transition period of 1 year. The CS said comprehensive guidelines will be issued to schools in a circular to be released by the ministry next week. Brian Amuai, Look Up TV.